Hello and welcome to an academy. This is Nitin Kuneparambil and I'll be doing all the solution and explanation from the questions 18 to 34. Without any further delay, let's get into the first question. So basically the question number 18 talks about certain characteristics of Deccan Plateau. Now there are three statements which is given. The first one is it is an igneous province located on Deccan Trap. Quite not sure, so let's keep it there. It is located between two mountain ranges. That is the Eastern Ghats and Western Ghats. That is exactly right, right? And now it's also separated from Gangetic Doab by Satpuras and Vindhyas, which is also right. So 2 and 3 are right. That means the option is going to be B. B, right? So you can definitely say this is wrong. Why? Because Deccan Trap is located in Deccan Plateau and not the other way around, right? If you understand the geological history of India, you'll understand better of it. Now let's consider a few more statements with respect to Western Ghats. Now they run parallel to the monsoons coming from Bay of Bengal, which is very wrong, right? You can think about Karnataka and Kerala and Maharashtra. The strip is there, and when the southwest monsoons are coming, it is going to be perpendicular to it. That's why we're getting monsoons there, right? So this statement is wrong. They're continuous, yes, they are continuous, except for that few gaps are there, right? One is Palghat gap. I am from Palakkad. Yeah. Anyways, so the third statement is that the sources of many large rivers which are flowing in peninsular river, which is also true, right? Now, if you see, the answer should be B because Western Ghats are perpendicular to the southwest monsoons, as I explained earlier. Now, let's take the 20th question. So, this is a very factual question. So, what I want to do is let's pause and then please take your atlas and then find where are these passes. There's a Yonggyap Pass, there's a Tunga Pass, and Dipu Pass, and Bamla Pass. The answer here would be A, because this Dipu Pass is the one which is there between the borders of India, China, and Myanmar, and also you have this Bumla Pass, which is going to be there in Arunachal Pradesh itself, but it is there in Indo-China border, and then this Tungla Pass and Yonggyap Pass is there in Arunachal Pradesh. Very factual questions. Please do look into it. And then you have this Himalayan river systems. Let's take one by one. These rivers have a large basin and catchment area. Very true, right? In India itself, if you see, it's Ganges and the Yamuna, which are like very big floodplains and large basins and catchment area. So this is true. And also when you talk about they form big deltas at their mouth, which is also true. If it's the world's largest delta is in Sundarbans, which is basically Ganges and Brahmaputra coming together, right? So effectively, this is also true, and they're all perennial in nature. Have you ever seen water drying up in Ganges? No, right? The southern friends might be a bit confused, but then yeah, we can see Kaveri and Godavari and all going a bit dry, but then it never happens with Ganges or Yamuna. So that this statement is also right. But if you see this one, the flow is it flows in one of the oldest plateaus of the world. That is very wrong. Why? Because the oldest plateaus in the world is our Deccan Plateau. So it is the peninsular rivers which flows through it. So the answer would be 1, 2, and 3. That means it's option number A, right? And now let's talk about another factual question with respect to the command area development. It is centrally sponsored scheme. Very correct. It aims at community development. No, that is not right. And the third one is with respect to development of groundwater to supplement the surface water as one of the common, which is also true. So basically, second one is wrong because this basically aims at bridging this gap between created potential and then utilized in selected major and medium irrigation projects in the country by optimizing the agriculture production and the irrigation land. So basically, second one is wrong. So solution would be C. Now let's see. We are going to discuss, the rivers and where from they're originating. So basically, they are all the peninsular river. Godavari, it is also coming from Triambak Plateau, which is true. But then this Narmada is not coming from Satpura ranges. If you've seen this, two rivers which is going to flow in the opposite direction. If you see, that's only our Tapi and Narmada. So Narmada and Tapi becomes very important. So you can see that it's from Amarkantak Plateau. Can you please tell me what sort of a pattern does it form? So because that's very interesting. I think it's a radial pattern. Please do look into it and comment in the section below. So the solution is B because Narmada originates from Amarkantak, which is in the Maikal ranges. So please take a map and then find where these are originating from, right? Because it becomes very important this time, Kaveri especially, right? Okay, now let's talk about anticyclones. These are some characteristics. This is a basic definition of anticyclones. If it's in this, the wind moves into a low pressure area. No, that's not right. And also, if you see the other one, it is this statement is also wrong because direction is not clockwise in the southern hemisphere. Actually, these both statements are wrong. So the explanation is that anticyclone is basically opposite to cyclone. So once you know cyclone, then all you have to do is reverse it. So And that's it here. And now let's talk about the sugar cultivation in India. It belongs to, bamboo family of plants and indigenous type to India. So which is actually right. And then it provides raw material for manufacturing alcohol. So which is also right. If you see, in past 6 months, I think the lowest price for sugar is recorded in this past in this recent times. That's basically because there are a lot of problem procurement and fair and remunerative prices, and a lot of issues are there. But then one issue what the government is trying people to do is that use all this extra sugar cane for alcohol production. So that's also possible. It grows in hot and humid area. Please think where all uh, sugarcane production is happening in our country. If you see, one is like in our western UP side, and then there is Maharashtra side, and also then you have here in Tamil Nadu. Also, there was one discussion about how Tamil Nadu sugar has a higher sugar content, right? As in, like there's more sucrose content there. It's basically because of soil patterns and all. So basically, the answer would be D. That is, all the statements are correct, right? And you can read about this thing here, and it's a very labor intensive. So basically, you can also talk about the mills and all, right? Especially Maharashtra, it's very interesting because Maharashtra is one place where you don't have water, but then this water intensive crop is being cultivated there. So here comes the importance of your precision irrigation and cultivation according to the conditions there. Now let's talk about another one. It's with respect to the soil conservation and with respect to declining fertility of soil. You've seen from Punjab, Haryana, and all, right? All of this is happening, and that's why we have something called the evergreen revolution. All of this is happening, right? So basically, now the soil conservation, all the options are talking about is like wind breaks and then salinity management, strip cultivation, shifting cultivation, contour plowing. So all of this is there. It's very much there. I think Roman also had spoken about this in his high yield series when he spoke about soil. Also, please go and watch it also if you need it. Because one question is definitely going to come from the soil section. Even for main soils, it's very important, especially the salinity aspect of it. How can you prevent it? All of this becomes very important, right? So the answer basically here would be all of them, right? Because and you can see the other methods of how you can do all this thing. And now, with respect to this question, residual mountains are evolved from denudation. Okay, that's right. And then, residual mountains are the youngest mountains on Earth's surface. That's wrong, because you see, Himalaya is the youngest mountain on Earth's surface. That's why it's very tall, right? The erosional activities are not happening much, right? So that's why the fold mountains are the youngest one. So you can talk about the plate tectonics and how these are formed. All of this are very interesting, and so you really don't know third point because it sounds very odd, right? Mountain monadnock of USA. So you know that one and two are this second one is wrong. So goes away, this goes away, and then you're left with this two. So now basically you should know this factual question only. Then will you be able to answer this thing because B and C is there. So actually it is both of them, right? The second statement, except for the second statement, the rest everything is right. Um, if you talk about Aravallis also is a old fall mountain. Can you tell me if there's any other old fall mountains? Yeah, please find it out and let me know. And I think Appalachian is also old fall mountain. Okay, now let's come to the 28th question, which is talking about the middle course. So this is beautifully given in Go Liang. Please find it out and then what is happening. This lateral corrosion is replaced by vertical corrosion. That's actually wrong. If you find it out, you'll understand it. The meanders are formed in this stage, yes, and then the valley is widened due to some kind of a deposition. That's there. You know about the V-type valley and W-type valley, and initial stage how you have a lot of potential energy and how everything will be there. So basically, the answer would be B. The first statement is wrong because vertical corrosion is replaced by lateral corrosion, the other way around, right? And the second stage they form V-shaped valleys, and it is replaced by U-shaped valleys because of the deposition and all. Now let's talk about coral reef. Now coral reef becomes very important, right? You know how everything has been, the Great Barrier Reef has been diminished. So they are basically shell-forming creatures. Yes, they have they secrete calcium carbonate, which is also right. Then also they need a maximum temperature of 20 degrees. That is wrong because the minimum temperature. That's why answer should be 1 and 2. That's a statement A. Now, 30th question with respect to reasons for less fish production. Yes, tropical condition means you can't be producing it much. India doesn't have much of all this bays and stuff, and marine fishing is also seasonal phenomenon. So it's all of them are right. So answer should be D. Now let's talk about the constitutional bodies. This is a basic facts question. So, election commission is there, and UPSC is also there. So basically, it's 1 and 2. So answer is D, right? Please note everything in there in the Lakshmikant. And also with respect to 32, if you see, this thing is coming from Queen's Declaration there, 1858. So this is wrong. So 1, 2, 4 is there. So answer should be C. and now you have, which of this is right. So John Mathai, they're an internet government, so B is wrong. B is the right answer. And then finally you have this constitution. We have a parliamentary system, so answer should be 3 is wrong. So 1, 2 and 4. That's it. Thank you.